Welcome to The Art of Being Unstoppable, the podcast where we will go beyond the ordinary and embrace the extraordinary. Be part of down-to-earth, no BS conversations where we will explore hot topics on love and money, relationships and business, beauty, and who we get to be with all that shit in between. With our insights and your actions, let's be unstoppable together. Let's go.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode. You know, Tina and I have been friends for a little while, and I really wanted to talk about the importance of your relationships with your girls, with your girlfriends, or your guy friends, whatever it is. But those special people in your life that aren't your partner, aren't your, but those people that you feel like you can be 1,000,000% authentic with. Doesn't matter. You can fall down, you laugh together, whatever it is, you get to be whoever you choose to be when you're with that person. Mm-hmm. You and I have had many laughs, and we could sit and talk, and that's why we kind of started this podcast, was we can just sit and talk. We should record this. This is fun, right? We can talk about things that other people experience. But in the last episode, I did talk a little bit about going through something. And so I had said to my husband, I made a point of the weekend before, we had to put down our dog, one of our dogs, who was my parents' dog. And it was unexpected. We weren't ready for that by any means, and my girlfriend was here. And so that night we had made a plan. Okay, you're coming to my house next weekend. You need to get away, right? Like, let's just do this. So I said, okay, perfect. So I got in my car, I took the top down, and I drove a different way than I normally go. So it was kind of like a new way for me, back kind of roads, all the way to my girlfriend's. And it was the most amazing 2 days. It was just exactly what I needed. We went out for dinner. We didn't plan anything. What do you feel like? I don't care what we have, right? It didn't matter, because at home, we're always planning. Like, what do you want to have for dinner? We're always planning for all these things. And we didn't even plan. The only thing we planned was Saturday was a beach day. So we packed up everything and put our chairs on our backs, and we walked down to the beach, and we were there for 5.5 hours. And we just swam and laughed and talked to people, and we just had the best time. And I think that is so important, that we get to warm our hearts and our souls with those special people in our lives that we hold close, that we may not be able to see on a regular basis. Like, she lives almost 2 hours away. We've been friends since we were 16, but we don't see each other on a regular. But every moment that we get to spend together is like going home, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, I always ask people this question: are you running away from something or towards something? People that are, I need a vacation. I need to get away. I need to, but it's not, when we're spending that quality time with people, it's running towards something. It's running towards connection. It's running towards, friendship. It's running towards, like making memories, and you can't put a price on that, but I know so many people that are like, I need to move. I need to get out of Essex County, or I need to move here. I'm like, why? Are you running away from something? Because the problems don't go away, but sometimes we need that space to get clarity too. And being with our girls, I know you call your friends the biddies.
Being with
girls, or just being with people that love you, that you can just be authentically yourself with. I think that is a gift that some people just don't have. And I also believe that you can get that at any age. So there might be people that are watching or listening right now that have a great big circle of friends, and at any time they can go and find somebody to hang out with and spend time with. And then there are other people that don't have a circle of friends, don't have a lot of people in their life. And I kind of want to speak to those people, because I'm a bit of I'm not saying I don't have friends. I do have friends, but I'm more of a loner. I'm more of a stick to myself kind of person. And Vicky, I hang out with you, but I tend to keep my circle small. And but I do also think that when we're not opening ourselves up to creating those relationships, those connections, that maybe there is a story playing in the background that prevents us from doing that. And I want people to just kind of look within and just say, is it true that I don't have these people in my life, or am I keeping people away because it's safer that way?
Yeah.
And I do believe that, one of our primary human needs is love, safety, and belonging. And it is important to find someone that you feel a sense of belonging with in your life.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what do you think about that, Vicky? I know you and I are in very different situations.
I love that though, Tina. And my tribe was very large for many, many years. My house was the place everyone came with their kids, their dogs, and because we live in the county and everyone came here all the time, and I would not change 1 second of that, because my kids, now that they're adults, realize how important that foundation was. But now, as we're empty nesters and we don't have any children at home, and it's funny because we have a couple of events every year that all of those kids that are now grown, some married, some have their own kids, come back and share that time again, right? Because those memories, and we'll watch the grandchildren and the nieces and nephews all grow up together even if it's just once a year. But, and I'm an only child, so that's huge for me, right? Like, I need that connection with people. Like I always say, my friends are my sisters. And you're not going anywhere. Like when I first became close, I'm like, okay, well, you're stuck with us now. You're family. Like, it's just the way it is. But when you said about those people who don't, my niece decided to go on a trip. She's only 23, 24, maybe she'll be 24 this year. And she decided to go on a scheduled, like a tour. But she flew by herself for the first time. She's very shy. She's very, very shy and timid. But I think she's going to do it all the time now because she did it.
Yes.
She experienced it too. She went by herself. They were all they were under a certain age. So they had to be between 18 and 30, say. And so everybody was around the same age, and most people were single, people just on this group tour. And she saw places, she was in Greece, and she was in all different places. So she really said, and she said, I wish I had went for longer than 10 days, because she went and she immersed herself in every single part of it. So even if those people that are out there that are alone, that don't have that, ask yourself, if you do take an adventure, take yourself on an adventure. You showed me and taught me that, you're never by yourself. You're with yourself. But we have to love ourselves
never
to
alone.
be with ourselves, right? But we have to love ourselves to be with ourselves.
We got to tell people this. We got to tell people the story. So I went to the Mayan Riviera on vacation with myself, and I remember I was never alone though. There was always people around me. I said, okay, gosh, I'm here, to get away from people, and people just, gravitated. But I was at dinner one time, and the waiter comes over and he said, "Oh, are you alone?" And I said, "No, I'm with myself." And he looked at me, he's like, "So you're alone?" I said, "No, I'm with myself. I'm never alone." And he just walked away thinking I had 10 heads. But that's what I've adopted. I don't ever feel alone because I enjoy my own company. And I remember how awkward it was at first doing that first trip. I think I went to the Dominican Republic with myself, and it was so weird for people to see me with myself. And I met people, and I went out, and I
had a great time.
I had a great time, but I think that's, it's really important too, because if you can be with yourself and travel and appreciate that time with yourself, you can be with anyone. And sometimes when we don't have a lot of people in our life, or when we've lost friends because of divorce or whatever the situation, change of jobs and you lost your friends, coming back home sometimes allows you that space to then find new people. And how many times, like, I've gone through so many groups of friends, get a divorce, lose that group of friends, quit my job, lost that group of friends. In this, networking world, had a group of friends in that networking world, then did something else. I'm always creating new groups of friends, but there's always the solid people that are there no matter what, but it's really interesting. This could probably be another topic, but for those of you that are entrepreneurs and you are in this world, you quickly find out who your true friends are. Like, I see people that were my so-called friends that would never share a post, never share what I'm up to, never share a podcast episode. And then there are people that will go out of their way to share podcast episodes, to listen to the podcast episode. And these are sometimes new people in my life too. So I think, not everybody's meant to stay in your life forever, but we're not also meant to be alone forever. We're supposed to grow and evolve, let some people go to make room for new people. That's just my view. Not the truth, just my truth.
But you know what? I agree with that, because even, when we do grow, some of those people don't grow with us. And that's okay, right? And like you said, not everybody has to be in your life in the same capacity all the time. And that was a hard thing for me, because I think I took it very personally when when people weren't in my life anymore. What did I do wrong? But I really realized that, no, that's not the truth. It isn't. It's just, we grew apart, and that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
And I never wish ill on anyone else. I wish them the best, and I hope, people do the same for me if we're not friends anymore, kind of thing. But, that's all we want, is to be surrounded with people who love us and respect where we're at, and not expect us to be any different than who we are right now. And that's a hard thing for me with my husband and we're very different that way. I've been really working on myself personally, like developing myself, and, he's not into any of that, which is fine. But it was hard for me for a bit to realize, now what? Right? Like, if we're growing, right? Like, what's happening here? But I realized that it's never, and you said this you say this a lot, like, it's not over there with you, it's back here with me. And I get to let him be who he is and love him for where he's at. And he gets to love me for where I'm at. It doesn't have to be in the exact same spot. We just get to be together.
Yeah. I mean, I know we started this podcast episode talking about going away and spending that time and creating space, and we're all on a journey. And, I think sometimes when we think we have it all figured out, we realize there's really nothing that's in our control. And, but I liked what you said about, we got to always come back home and be true to ourselves. What is it that really lights us up, and be willing to take the actions to go after everything that we want in our life, including friendships, including connections, including relationships. And there are people, likely that might be in the same spot as you, Vicky, where they're on this personal path and they're like, oh, but am I outgrowing my partner? Can we still stay? And there's all of this. That's normal to have those thoughts. You come back home, when the love is there, the affinity is there, it might feel like you're growing apart, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's just you and your friends, your partners, adapting the new version of you. And sometimes it takes them a while to catch up to that
Yeah.
new version,
Yes. Yeah.
and we got to
Yeah.
give them grace and space to catch up,
Mhm.
because they're like, whoa, wait a minute. I'm just speaking to myself. Certain friends were like, whoa, you're the life of the party. You drink all the time. You like to have fun. And now they're like, what do you do for fun? You just study your spirituality and play with your cats. I'm like, right now at this phase of my life, yes, that is actually peace, freedom, calmness. That's what I value. And they're like,
Uh,
what? Like, I need to just give them space. I was talking the last episode about the girls' trip with my mom and my sister and my aunt. So I'm like on the lounge chair in the pool. I'm finding my zen. I'm just in like doing life the way I normally
Yeah.
do life,
Yeah.
just calm, peaceful.
Yeah.
Well, my sister and I are completely the opposite, right? She's fun. She's outrageous. She is like no hold, like she doesn't
Yeah.
hold back. I hold back. So here I am, eyes closed, laying on the lounge chair. What does she do? She does a cannonball right beside me, soaks me, almost flip. I'm like almost asleep on this chair. And I was like pissed. Like, I didn't want to get my hair wet. She's like, don't you know how to have fun anymore? And I was just like, yeah, I do, but I don't want to get my hair wet. And she's like, ugh. But I actually thought about that, and I like let that question sink in, right? I can be responsible for people's experience of me. I'm like, do I let loose? Do I just have fun? Like, who really cares if I get my hair wet? I'm like, well, I didn't have a blow dryer and I didn't want to take the time. But really in the grand scheme of things, like, does it really matter? But her question, I think there was a little passive aggressive, like, would you rather be praying right now, Tina? And I'm like, I don't know, maybe, but it was just, it opened my eyes to, here we are, we're on this girls trip. I'm with my mom and my aunt. We don't usually get to have this time together. And I'm not super fun sometimes. I am a little serious. I don't know how to really relax and let go. And what I was used to before is shifting. So I'm in a transition too. So I'm like,
Yes.
okay, I get you guys are like needing to catch up to my transformation, but I'm needing to catch up to my own transformation. Some days I wake up and I'm like, whoa, how are things shifting so profoundly, so quickly? So if it's hard for me to keep up, I have
Oh,
to imagine that it's a challenge for them to keep up too.
yeah.
So and to understand, because people that do this kind of work, that shift at this velocity, I mean, Joanne, one of our close friends that we work out with, we hadn't seen her in a month because she had a grandbaby, and we caught up, and I was like, "Oh, this happened, and this happened," and she's like, "What the heck? Like, I wasn't gone for a year. I was gone
Right?
for 3 weeks. What
It's
happened?"
so true. It is so true, honestly. But that's the point I think that we're trying to make during all of this is having those people that you can share all of that stuff with, the fun, and I mean, it's living your life to its fullest, whether that is with peace most of the time, which is fine, or that is with a little crazy sometimes too, right? Like, if anybody knows me, I am a little klutzy. Not a lot, but a little. So when we had our, I'm going to share this. We had our back, like our chairs on our backs coming up from the beach, and I'm going to be honest, we had a few drinks, but not like too many, but we had a couple of drinks. And we're walking
Let
up,
me
and
guess, you're wearing flip flops.
yes, I was wearing flip flops, Tina. Damn it. I knew you were going to ask me that. And we were walking up these stairs. So there was like quite a few stairs you have to walk up. And you go up a few and then there's a landing. So as I'm doing that, and I've got bags and, we have all this stuff we're carrying, I flip up the stairs in my flip flops, right? Well, my girlfriend behind me, she's dying laughing. She thinks this is hilarious. Doesn't she flip up the stairs as well? So it was like, but there was this young gentleman watering his grass beside us. standing beside his Sea-Doo, and he was standing there and he's watering his grass, and you could see him just roll his eyes. Oh yeah, a couple of middle-aged women falling up the stair. Like, just, you could just see, right? It was so funny. It was so funny, but we had fun and we made memories and we laughed. And you know what? That is food for the soul. Having those memories and those laughs, because, you know, it gets you through the struggles and the hard times when you are, because we all have them, but it brings you back to the blessings that you do have.
And, you know, it's a blessing that you keep wearing flip-flops and falling. Okay, guys, Vicky has gotten 3 major injuries. And every time I'm like, well, what were you wearing on your feet? Flip-flops. Oh, okay. Are you going to learn your lesson? Then another time she fell again. What were you wearing on your feet? Flip-flop. Okay. Are you going to learn the lesson?
True.
So the third time, what the heck, Vicky?
Well, what do you wear to the
Stop
beach?
wearing flip-flops.
What are you supposed to wear to the beach? What kind of shoes should I be wearing?
Take them off. Take them off. Just go shoeless.
Okay, I'll go shoeless.
For the
Because
love of God,
it is the shoes. It is. They flip over, right? And then you go down. And you're right. You are 100% right. Right.
Why do you think they're called flip-flops? The shoes flip, you flop. Oh my gosh. Well, on that note, you guys, thank you for being here. Thank you for being our friends on our journey, listening to our shenanigans. And send us a note. Let us know what resonates, what doesn't resonate, and what you want to hear more of, less of. We are definitely open to creating. And if you are coming back every week, thank you for being here. If you're new, thank you for being here. We love you. We hope you get 1 nugget each week. And remember, the art of being unstoppable is taking 1 nugget, taking a new action to get new results, and being unstoppable. So thank you.
Have a beautiful day, everyone.
Bye.
Well, friends, that is the end of our episode today. If you love this episode, hit the subscribe button so you never miss another episode. And please share us with your friends and tag us on your socials at The Art of Being Unstoppable. So for today, have yourself a beautiful day and let's be unstoppable together. See you next time.